Hey, we made it. Just in the nick of time, we made it. Yes. Oh, and my screen goes blank. Hold on a second. I just got to type in my password. There we go. So, yes, welcome to the live stream of consciousness. We made it just in time. It's Thursday, February 2nd. And welcome back to the live stream of consciousness if you've been here before. And welcome for the first time if you're coming in. I had a amazing experience with Jesse Howell from the Missing Link podcast, and some of his people might be coming in here because I got a couple of new subscribers there. I got this bell from Jilly. I was able to ring it like 10 times during that interview, so that was all cool. That's my subscription bell. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, please do. What's up, some people out there? What's up, Tommy? What's up, Tammy? I mean, Tim. What's up? What's up, Ninja Kitty? How you guys doing? Good to see you. Always here. Welcome to my happy place. Hopefully your happy place too. It's been a crazy week. Another adventure of life, right? Another week of life, and here we are again. The live stream of consciousness is always willing to talk about cool things with cool people. And I'm hoping that you enjoy it and don't feel like you're being preached to. I had an interesting experience. I think I talked about it last week. It kind of still went on a little bit this week with a friend of mine who has a podcast also, and kind of, I guess, feels like preaching or something here, and claiming that I'm more enlightened than people or anything like that. And I'm just talking about trying to be happy and what energy means and all of these things. And so we had a misunderstanding, but he told me to go away, so I'm away. Here I am in my own happy place. It's just interesting. I guess I'll have to figure out how to make that into a story and tell you guys what happened there. But anyway, I'm excited for tonight's conversation. Somebody who I know, and I kind of forgot how we met. I just knew I knew her for years. I guess we connected immediately. You know, that energetic thing. So feel like you've known someone and you're comfortable with who they are, and you just like love them off the bat. And that's the case with my guest tonight. I have her name's Lisa Fazio. She's an artist. She's a psychic medium and intuitive and amazing person. I'm going to bring her on right now, and I'm going to tell you guys the story of how we met, and we'll experience it all together. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Hello.
There you are. Look at that.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much for asking me. So excited.
Awesome. Super excited to have you, and I love seeing you standing in front of your amazing artwork there. That's
We have a photo of you standing in front of it, right?
we do. We have a bunch of things to go through, and that's one of them. So uh, I guess we should tell the story before I get into the initiation of live stream of consciousness with you. So I think it was 2017 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was asked to do this photo shoot to bring awareness to endometriosis. And if you don't know what endometriosis is, it's a condition that women have that has largely gone kind of untreated in the medical community. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding how it's been treated and how it's been ignored. I think a lot of progress has been made since 2017, but probably more progress always needs to be made in these kinds of situations. But so the photo shoot concept was the endometriosis warrior, the endo warrior. And I was invited to shoot these beautiful, strong women who all have that condition. And Lisa was there as well. She was there because she was going to be doing a painting of the resulting images. And I don't know if that was pre-planned or that just happened when you were there.
Yes. And interestingly enough, the person who invited me didn't, when we started talking, didn't realize that I was a survivor. So it really,
Oh,
it meant a lot to me to be a part of the group because these were a group of young women who were suffering still, and I had gone through it already. So in walks Mike. I'm going to this person's home. I don't know anyone. And I see Mike very comfortably photographing people, and I just felt very comfortable with you because I really could see that you loved what you did and you were very respectful for everybody there. And being an artist myself, I can spot someone who really is really good at what they do, and the way you posed the women and was very respectful, and then they were changing outfits and and the way they wanted to be portrayed. I felt that you were really good with that, and it was
Wow,
exciting to
that's
be a part
awesome.
of it. And the end results were beautiful. The photographing was beautiful, and I got to create something beautiful art from it. So yeah, I found it really.
Totally. Wow, I really appreciate that. I don't think you ever said that to me. I mean, again, we hit it off right away, so we knew we liked each other. We've said plenty of compliments to each other, and we totally
And it
respect.
was a weird situation because, like, if anybody understands the photo shoot, the women were like kind of not half naked, but they really didn't have much on, and it was
Right,
not very traditional in the photo shoot at all. So,
right.
yeah, we two of us really clicked, and there was a lot of, and people came from all over, right? They were from different states, some
Yep,
people, and
yep. So
nobody knew each other, which was very cool. So, yeah, thank you. So, yeah,
it was it was amazing experience. What's up, Arnie? Welcome. A
so
new.
you'll have to post some pictures or something, whatever you.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually, before we get started, I dug up a bunch of stuff. So let me share some photos real quick.
And I think I took a photo of you, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, because I
I,
think
there
the
was a,
photographer never gets in the photo. So
there was a photo that I remembered that I couldn't find as well. But let me see if where is this one? This is why can't I see this window in my share screen windows? Oh, there it is. Okay, so nope, that was not the right one. Oh, bear with me for a second.
oh, don't show that one, Mike. What is it? Uh-oh.
No, that was it's the shoot, but it wasn't the
Oh, okay. It's fine.
photos that I wanted to share. Oh, you know what? It was a different tab. I didn't
You could
realize.
tell me anything. How would I even know? Come on.
So I posted this on Facebook just a little while ago, saying
Oh my
join
God, it's a side shot of me. Oh wow, yeah.
join me, and you'll see a little bit of what this photo means. And I could not believe the hefty beard that I had in this photo. I think that was the only time I ever grew my beard that big. But it really it
Oh,
reminded me
I
of
love
life and
you.
how life changes, and even the person that I was, as much as you complimented me, it was a different person. You know what I mean? Back it's 5 years ago at this point. And still
Wow.
base at the core, I'm the same person, of course, and my intentions and my vibration, but just much more evolved. And I looked back at this and I just had so much fun looking at these photos. There's another photo. There was a videographer filming behind the scenes. These are some of the women who are all kind of getting dressed and made up, and there's the
Yeah,
photo of
look at
you that I found.
I am a survivor. Yes.
Yeah, this was.
I didn't even know. I didn't even get makeup on. I didn't even know I was going to get photographed that day. I just went there as an artist. So yeah, that was
Yeah, you were hanging out and just kind of watching, and we did a group shot, and then we were like, hey, let's get Lisa in here. And then I'm not sure. Okay, so here's I went back in my Facebook, and I was able to like just search my own profile for Endo Warrior, and I found our conversations, and we
yes,
actually had a private Facebook group
yes.
that was talking back and forth, and so we were sharing all of these things. This was a quick comp I did in Photoshop
Mhm.
of the images to send to you, just to kind of like start
These are the
sparking
images that
ideas.
we used. Thank you. I was
Yeah,
gonna say, why do they all look like the right pose? Yeah, these are all the images that I merged together.
right.
I'm sorry, it's in my studio underneath stuff. I didn't think.
No, that's all right, because
Oh, there you go. Duh.
I
There you
have it
go.
here,
It's so
and let
cool.
me see if I could. Oh, it's not easy to make big. Let me see if I can. No, I can't really zoom
What
in.
was nice is they wrote a really nice article about the whole process that we did together. Yeah.
Yeah, it got published, and even the whole photo shoot got published in a couple of places. And yeah, it was just a really amazing experience. This was what I opened originally, and I was like, wait, that's not it, because I didn't want to get to the
Isn't that
end before I showed the
gorgeous?
beginning. But these were
Gorgeous.
some of the results of the photos that we did.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it was just an amazing experience all around. I'm so grateful for these things, and I do feel like this is, of course, made me part of who I am. I was so grateful for this opportunity, and so inspired by the strength of these girls and what they were going through. And that was one of the girls who was doing all the makeup for everybody.
Mhm.
And it was just such a great
It
experience.
was a very nice thing to be a part of. So yes, thank you. That's how we know we're good people, you know.
Yes, absolutely. You've got Deborah out there, Lisa. That's gorgeous. You're painting, and the
Hey,
gorgeous
Deb.
too.
Woo,
Awesome. And
girl.
I see a lot of awesome people out there. Thank you guys all for coming. I still want to show. I do have a little video. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm already 12 minutes in, and I haven't initiated you into the live stream of consciousness. You know, I know you told me not to use any big words, so I'm gonna try to keep it simple. But this is the live stream of consciousness, and really what sparked this for me was these conversations, you know, with other people, but trying to get their perceptions as well, and grow this kind of collective idea of consciousness. But the question I always ask is, what is consciousness? What does consciousness mean to you, Lisa?
I think consciousness to me is more about being in the present moment. I think because as a psychic medium, I'm really conscious in more than one space, which actually really works for my advantage because I can do more than one thing at once. And so people will say, how do you do that? So I think I'm conscious in more than one space-time reality.
That's cool.
But I think the other part of it is consciousness is to be conscious of what you're doing for yourself and what you're doing for others. So I think that you have to realize that you're in a reflective pool where whatever you do kind of has a rippling effect. So that's another way of looking at consciousness to me also.
Great.
And the whole premise is that we're all here to help one another, not to see through one another, but to see one another through.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that. That's great.
Yeah. So I think that's why you and I connected, is because we were helping one another through. And I think that's really, I look for people that I can bond that are not really of ego, but to know that we're all kind of on the same conscious plane, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I said that a couple times this week, you know, and I often go back to it, and that is similar to what you're saying. And we're all in this together, right? Whatever this is, you know, we're all here together, and we all need to respect that the other people are here. You know, I think that's what helps me find compassion for people who, you know, I don't necessarily agree with. You know, I mean, it's
exactly. And I think you just have to learn to live in that space that there's constantly, let's say, a friction or a difference, and in there is the beauty of still oneness at the same time, right? Because with darkness, there's light. Just as like someone would come to me as an artist or an art teacher and say, does this look good? You know what I mean? What does that even mean? Is there even a definition of good and bad, you know?
Right. Why are you asking me? What do you think? You know,
right.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
As long as you're not harming someone else, you know what I mean? Like that's
right.
what
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I love that answer, and I love that you talk about, you know, from your own experience, experiencing consciousness in different places, or in different, I guess, in different realms, let's just say, you know, or different dimensions. I guess you could describe it in all those different ways. I really love that.
But isn't that true? You talked about a struggle.
Absolutely.
Right. So to me, the way I look at it is, you know, my full spectrum of where I've come from, you know, a little bit, I think I wrote in my little blurb, you know, growing up in a hospice home and realizing that people are not permanent. You know, when you grow up, you're not going to go to Disney World. You're going to realize that death is really there. I had a hard time connecting to people and relationships because I felt, why bother? You're going to die anyway, kind of thing. And so I established my relationship with death and dying quite early, and I'm very comfortable with it. And I could actually see transition. It's just another form of energy. So if you look at it where you have conflict with someone and say, okay, so from a higher point of view, what contract did I have with this person? And on a scale of life of past, present, and future, how does that really lay out? Does it really matter? You know what I mean? Like, you know, what is it? It's only a small tidbit of what we're learning now in this one present reality, as opposed to the whole bigger picture of a whole.
Wow. Yeah. Very insightful. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, and again, the reason I love that question is because the answer is ever expanding, you know what I mean? And you just kind of expanded it to the idea. We talk about it, consciousness existing in layers or levels, but also I think realms and dimensions is another good way to describe that. So thank you for that. That was awesome. See, no big words, no.
Right, right.
This
Well,
is
the other
good.
thing I wanted to say also, I think people think consciousness also on a human level.
Mhm,
So you have to remember that we're energy, so it's on other levels as well.
mhm, mhm.
Um, what about the consciousness of animals and plants and everything else? So everything has consciousness.
Well, that's what I'm loving that about quantum physics, and science is now kind of talking about things that cross over to that spiritual realm about, everything has an energetic field, these kinds of things that can be measured with instruments, and everything is energy. That's kind of what we talk about here all the time, and understanding that even a conversation is an energetic exchange, and respecting that, what I mean, is how you navigate it, and have an easy time navigating it, right? It's much more
Right.
difficult when you don't understand. It's interesting also that you talk about death, and the fear of death, because I was just having a conversation about that, and I think for me, like, if there are two things that I can say were key to kind of helping me, be happy, and live this kind of non-fearful life, was self-love was one, understanding what that meant, and being able to experience it, and you know not having a fear of death, like almost like, like understanding that death is, another phase of this, right? And this is just a three-dimensional phase of it, and then it
But
becomes.
what are you actually fearing? Okay, so my take on that is, so I've had not one but two near death experience. One was drowned. One actually, both of them were drowning, and so one of them I was completely submerged underwater for several minutes, and I was pulled up,
Mm,
and in that second, I was able to see my whole life, and then when I came out. I was, it's a funny, kind of a funny story. I was regurgitating water. We were on a rafting trip, and all these Boy Scouts rafts went all under me, on top of me, boo, 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 and I was stuck under, and everybody else had floated down, and I was stuck underneath. And when I got pulled out, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like spitting water out, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think I'm okay." And they were like, and I looked at them, I said, "I peed in my wetsuit." And they were like, "Well, you shouldn't have done that." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I thought I was going to die." Right? Like, why the hell would you think of that? And then I go to them. So where's the little dog on the side of the road that has like the hot chocolate, like you see in the commercial? And they're like, "There is none." I'm like, "Well, what the hell? I'm going to go down the whole freaking thing." So I went
That's
through
great.
hypothermia. I had they had to wake me up every hour because you can drown in your own fluid.
Mhm,
So anyway, so in that moment, there is no fear,
mhm.
right? There is no fear because well, besides the fact that I was frozen. So and I could tell you, go on and on of all kinds of weird. I've been hit by a car crossing the street. You have
Wow.
this whole flashing thing where, and at least it also psychic also, because I'm able to see someone transition
Mm,
and know how much of yourself is in your body before you actually move out.
mm, hmm.
So, watching unfortunately, my dad passed last year, I was able to see his body ascend on top of him before he was actually completely removed.
Wow.
And I remember the aide being there, and she was like crying. And I said to her, "He's not there in there anymore, and
Mm,
it's fine. Like he's already moved over."
right.
Even pets, people who have been present when pets pass, same thing. When they give them the medication to put to sleep, they're already ascending out of the
Right.
space. There was really no fear in that last moment. That's
Right.
just something we as humans put in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I have to look. I don't know. I don't know. And then there's the whole contract of how you do decide to leave. I have another interesting story about death in there as well. So my 105-year-old neighbor, she was a trooper. Oh my God, the stories. I've had her live on Facebook. She was so funny. Anyway, so obviously, you're going to die. You're 105. So I explained to her how you have a choice of how you're going to leave, what your exit plan is going to be. I told her, at least from my point of view of how I see it, how it's channeled to me.
Mhm, mhm.
So she's listening to me. Remember, 105, born in whatever heck, 18, whatever heck she was born, 1918 or some crap, really
Right.
long.
Right. Right.
So she says to me, so I explained it to her, and I said, at the last moment, you'll get to decide. So P.S., she's in the hospital. She's not doing well. I see her son has showed up. And this is a person who's never, for the last 20 years, she lived alone. I would come home and she would be lifting up her garage door to go get a tool at 105. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, I can help you with that. She's like, I want to cut this one thing, a little Italian lady, right? So she wouldn't let anybody help her. She made her own food. She did her own wash. She never wanted to have. So here it is now. Her son comes in, and I go to him. So what's going on? He goes, oh, she's not doing well. You know, I told her that she's either going to have hospice come home, or she's going to have to go to hospice. And I went, oh, that's interesting. An hour later, she passed. You know why? Because she decided she didn't want
Wow.
to be done that way. So you have a choice at any point of, at least for me, I feel, for your exits.
Absolutely. No. Yeah, that's
I don't
great.
feel like there's any. The fear is what you put into it. The only fear that we have, Mike, is the suffering. Nobody wants to suffer.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, you know, and we talk about that here too. You know, the layers of kind of illusion that we're coated with as we grow up, you know, and then, you know, the ability to kind of be able to peel off those layers, and what that's all about. So the next question before we get into you, and I want to see your studio and all the stuff. The next question is, and it sounds like it probably was a young age. I think you may have even almost answered it already. Is, you know, do you remember a moment, or I'm sure you have a story about when you realized that all of the things that society and school was teaching you was not necessarily a full picture of reality?
probably that's a great question. I think my pivotal point was it's gonna sound crazy, but my life is crazy, is when I was 12. I think that's when I realized that grown-ups are full of shit. They told you there was Easter bunnies and Santa Clauses and all that crap. And it ironically was also the year my mother told me she was a recovered alcoholic. So there
Mm,
was a lot of craziness going on in my house. And I just thought, you guys are all a bunch of bullshit artists. And I forgot to tell the other part that when my grandmother was dying in the house, when she died, my family chose not to tell me where she went. So as a 5-year-old, I went from room to room looking for her.
mhm.
And so I had a lot of suspicion that there was something going on there as well. I mean, you don't go every night to eat dinner with somebody for almost 3 years and then they disappear. And assuming that a child doesn't grieve the same way, doesn't really grieve. A child under the age of 12 doesn't really grieve the same way, but doesn't understand that somebody's missing. So I
Right.
just thought that they, what I knew there was another part. I kept thinking it was another part of the world. So that's when things started to click in my head that, something's not right there. And then when all the lies came in, that's when I was like, no. So
Mm.
I've always kind of been against the grain, being an artist and being different. And even I could go on. I'm 61, and my family still kind of sees me as an outcast. I gave birth to my daughter at home. They really shunned me for that. They wouldn't speak to me for
Wow.
6 months. So I could go on and on. And the thing is, if anybody knows me or follows me, knows that I really have an optimistic point of view. You can shoot
Sure.
things to me, and I'm just gonna make it funny, and I'm gonna make it what I want to make it. You can tell me
That's
anything, but
great. That's great.
yeah,
Do you you know what? Do you ever do stand up? I can see you doing stand up.
I should be doing stand
I
up. I've
can see
had
you
more
doing
than
stand
one
up.
person say I should be doing stand up. I should be writing material out. I don't know. I'm really good at improving. When I go somewhere, I try to make it funny. I go
Right.
to the hospital and I'm like, yeah, I'm going into an MRI. This is like my spaceship or whatever. And then I'm taking usually selfies with them. I did a funny thing when I went trip with my daughters. I was like, hey, we're going to Alaska. I heard all the guys are really cute. I'm going to take a picture with every cute single guy with you girls. So I would go, hey, you from Alaska? Are you an Alaskan person? Let's take a picture of my daughter. And they're like, Mom, rolling their eyes, rolling their eyes. So they did not appreciate that at all. So then we went to another trip to Italy and they were like, Mom, don't do that. I'm like, oh, F you. I said, I'm going to try to take a picture with as many Italian men as I could. So I would go up at a gas station. We would be on this trip and it would be my goal to look around and see who could I get within 3 minutes of this
The
pit
hot
to
Italian
take a
guy.
photo with me. And my daughter's like, Ma, what are you doing? I'm like, I got up to 23 Italian men that took a picture.
Nice.
I'd have to come in with a story. So to me, it's about really being present, finding something that you can connect with someone in the present moment and make it like fun. I mean, you could
Yeah.
really make any situation crappy. Why not make it happy?
What a great philosophy. Yeah. I say that too often. It's like if people just went into situations with the mindset of what can I bring to this situation? Not what can I get from this situation, you know what I mean? And it would just be, like everybody would be so much more friendly and excited to see each other and like you said, engage with each other. That's what I love about this platform. I say that pretty often, it's
Yeah, but
like
you make it friendly, Mike. You make it like, again, when I saw you and met you, you were approachable. Not everybody's approachable. You know what I mean? You
but
have
they
to.
can be.
They can be, but they choose not to be.
Right.
So
And I wasn't always, you know what I mean? I was just talking about this too. There was a point in my life where I would say it all the time out loud, and I truly believed it, that 95% of the people that I met were complete morons and had no clue about how to exist as a human being on a planet full of human beings, right? And I mean that's pretty simple, and I'm not going to say that's not an accurate statistic, or I don't believe that now, but I will say that I realized that just saying that and thinking that, I was putting out that energy, and that's what I was getting. I was getting I was meeting that kind of person. And once I started like understanding and having compassion, like why that might be, and looking for the light in people, like everything changed. It was a whole perspective thing. I intentionally changed that perspective, and I got what I was looking for.
right, right. And also everything brings you to where you are today. So even as an artist, people will say, well, how long did that take you to paint? Or what? I said, you know what? Every painting, I might say to you, I'm going to keep this beginner painting. It might have all my mistakes, but it got me to where I am today. So I can see that in a painting, but you don't see it. So I'm not going to let you have that. So you had to have those stepping stones to get you where you are today. That's all.
That's totally true. Totally true. And I feel like, at least in my life, and I think if anyone looks back in their life, they can probably find this too. Like all the things that you learn just kind of add up in this library of your skills and your navigational skills, how you navigate with people, how you navigate situations. And then, how you, for me, it's like computer stuff, like, whatever I'm good at, those were the things that I gathered. And now situations that I get into require all of those skills, like, and that's what makes me
Right.
magic in those situations, right? The whole idea of just show up, which is something that we talk about. Like if you know who you are and what you contribute to the world, all you have to do is show up, because then the magic happens wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it happens, right? And if you
Mike, there's also what you bring from your past life as well. So if you do any past life, like you'll see that you had similar skill set, or what I find, if you find someone who's completely compassionate in this life, it doesn't mean they were compassionate in the last life. That means they've learned that lesson to completion.
Right.
So there's a whole other,
so let's get into some of that stuff. Let's talk. I did it again. I put the mouse in the corner and my screen goes black, even though I'm still live to you guys. I don't see you now. I see you. So yeah, let's talk about that. I build people, with what their special gifts are, and I build you as a intuitive psychic medium, intuitive artist, and psychic medium. So tell us what that means. Tell us what a soul portrait is. Show us your studio.
Yes. I'm such a silly girl. I didn't put a soul portrait in this room, but I have this one. So I do eyes to the soul. So these are spirit paintings. So what I'll do is I will channel what your colors are. So for a soul portrait, I do more of the images. So the way it came in for me was this is my studio. Hello, this is just who I am. So here's my art studio. Yay, this is where the classroom is. I'm working with some soul portraits here. So this is how my background starts. Here's Picasso. Hi, Picasso. So here's the studio. So you come in here. I've been here 32 years. I'm here in Mineola, and I also teach in other locations as well. So it came in for me that I've been teaching classes in art for a long time. And I had kids here, and I kept seeing them as angels, and I started drawing them. And my daughters were like, Mom, you can't make your students angels. Like, that's crazy. So my family was like, you're a little off the wall, Mom. And I'm like, yeah. I don't even watch sci-fi. What the heck is coming in here? So, so then I started seeing unicorns around people. And then I'd say to them, hello, ring, ring. Can I make a unicorn around you, Mike? Can I make you fly in a unicorn? And then it just started coming in that they started secretly telling me that they were collecting these things, and then it started to come together that these are elements of this person that make up their divine blueprint. So then I started seeing key codes on them and star beings that came around. So even if I do a painting of you, there might be an image behind your face that you can't see that's other layers. So then one person called me up and said, do you know what the painting does? It kind of went into my dream and I started traveling with it. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Like, what the hell? So it started to have its own life. And I was like, I have no idea. So these are really give me a lot of pleasure to do them. And I'm not a portrait painter by any means. I'm a flower painter. You
Right.
see those flowers and landscape. This wasn't something, and I've had, different psychics, different mentors say to me, "Oh, you're going to do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're full of junk," I'm like,
Right.
and then I just
I like that.
do
Hold up
it.
that one with the eyes again. I like that. Hold it. Put it close to the screen. I want to. Yeah.
So this is just
Oh, that's
one
beautiful.
sample of eyes. So then what
That's
I'll do
beautiful.
So what I'll do is, let's say it was you for you, Mike. I will then channel like these Mike's colors. And so then I'll come in, and then what happens is you'll see stuff in here.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know, like orbs and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I'll ask them, where are the eyes going? And then the message that comes along with it. So that's the Eyes to the Soul that I'm doing at the Healing Learning Arts Center now.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I do
that
them
is
in the studio.
beautiful. And I don't know if you see the comments I'm popping up on the screen. That is beautiful. And I love this.
Oh no, I can't see any comments because I'm so illiterate here. I don't know.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm just.
Oh, I
popping.
love this, Lily.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
thank you. Now I see it. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Well, then actually, if you've gone on my Facebook page, I started channeling Mother Mary. So I recently come out of a very toxic, abusive, long-term relationship. So what happened was I started to look for guidance for myself, and Mother Mary kept coming in, and I have her. This particular studio was hit by lightning about 60 years ago, so there's a lot of Metatron energy here. So people have come here and documented it. They have there's all kinds of portals. Anyway, so Mary's in the back, her portal. So I started painting her live on Facebook. I just had like a flower painting background, and I said, "Oh, I think Mary wants to come in." I'm sorry, this is like glossy. And
That's right. No, yeah, that's good. I could see it. That's nice. Arnie says they are beautiful.
So I just started channeling her. So again, this is not, I didn't go to Catholic school to learn how to do Mary. This is just things that just started coming in. And I just want to talk about that a little bit, about people and their creativity.
Oh, look, Sing is
yeah,
out there.
let's
He
talk
was
about that.
at that photo shoot. I just saw Sing is out there. He was at the photo shoot.
Oh, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you? I loved him.
He
He's
says
one of my favorite people too.
The eyes in the soul are beautiful, he says.
Oh, how you doing, Sing? Thank you so much. That's so sweet. He's such a sweetheart too.
He is. He
my
totally
two favorite
is.
dude. My two favorite dudes from the shoot.
Awesome.
Well, another creative person too. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So I also not only do portraits, but I also teach intuitive guidance. I also do readings. I do channelings. I have a star being that comes in. His name is Ishba. I go on and on. I had an animal come to me that had how should I say this? Was asexual, had no vagina, no penis. Mm-hmm. So that was an alien cat that got documented as far as they went inside to see if there were any parts. Anyway, I have like a lot of crazy things happen to me. So what am I getting into? I'm getting into that everybody has guidance. Everybody has soul intuition. And the way I channel it coming in is through your intuitive side, is your creative side, your right side of the brain. There is no time relationship. There's no ego. Left side of the brain is ego. So the left side of the brain tells me I have two eyeballs and a nose, and this is how, that eyes are one nose apart. That's your very logical side, 2 + 2. But the artistic side, or the right side of the brain, says to me, you are Mike as a whole. I may not know your name, but I know that you're a person. Mm-hmm. I might know that I'm hungry, but I don't really know the recipe of how to cook something for myself. It's very interesting. And again, how do I know this? Because I had lead poisoning and I had lost part of my memory. So I only lost it on one side of the brain. So every time they were talking to me, like, how would you know how to do this? I was like, well, I couldn't understand. I started having slurred speaking. I couldn't explain it to them, but I knew from my brain what was going on. See, when you talk about how everything in a whole in your life puts you where you are today, I would not replace that experience at all, because it made me a stronger person who I am today.
Amazing.
I'm able to work with people who have had brain injuries in that sense.
Right.
So anyway, so getting back to your intuitive sense is that this is the part I tell people, like, if you're walking down the block, you kind of have a feeling someone's watching you. Everybody has different senses. I think what happens is we've learned how to dull them. And I hate to say it, but our phone is a part of our dulling. Mm-hmm. And our social media is part of our dulling. We spend a lot of time on social media and looking to see what's the norm of what person is doing. And we should be, photographing every foreign thing that we do and put it on there. That does not really get you into your intuitive self. Your intuitive self is turning the phone off and turning everybody off and just really sitting with the tree against your back. Sort of what people were doing during the pandemic, where they were really just wanting to talk to people face to face and really be present.
Well, I totally agree 1,000,000% with you, but I'm going to defend it in a way, in that that's kind of what we're doing right here, is we're having this conversation, and it's really for, not for social media, but for people who are looking for,
Right,
these kinds of conversations,
but everything in moderation, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like
yeah, of
you're
course.
right, right,
Of
right.
course, we all got to go outside and sit by the ocean. We can't sit in front of the computer screen all the time.
And also, you need to touch in with your wise self. You need to say, if I'm going to do something, who's the best judge of that but yourself? But if you're not sure, you wait. I think people become impatient with waiting for the message to come in. So,
Yep, yep.
prayer is requesting, and meditation is waiting for the answer to come back, right?
Mhm.
So, even myself as a psychic, I'm very. So, let's say I do a session with you, which is a lot of fun when I ask to look into your past life. It looks like a picture frame to me. And then I usually step in and go, let's look. And they usually go, step back. You know what I mean? They crack up. They're like, no, no. It feels like I'm at a museum. It's so cool. It's like, I swear, it looks like
Oh,
a picture.
we got to set that up. I've tried to do past life regression a couple of times, and I'm not as much as I resonate with all of it, and believe I do have a deep connection with it. I have been told by Kelly and lots of great people who are hypnotists, like, I'm not easy. I'm not easy to put under hypnotist. Although I certainly have had amazing meditation experiences, and experiences where I have undeniably touched another realm. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Well, I guess my question to that is like, what are you trying to achieve? Because I think most of it is for messages. You want to find out your
that
deep.
may be it. That may be the key. I'm really not trying to achieve anything. I mean, I certainly am curious as to what my past lives might say about my current state of being. But kind of like you, like, what's the difference? I mean, I'm in my current state of being right now, and listen, I understand that I'm not at the destination of knowing it all or whatever. That this is a trip, but I'm pretty content with what I found. So it's not that I'm not curious about it, and would love to see the connection with my current self, but it's like I'm not digging for it. I think that's
Okay, here I think this is what they're telling me to tell you. Okay,
okay.
there's two things. One is the one thing you said was, what would your past self say about your present self? I don't see it that way. I see it the reverse, because we're wiser now, right? It would help you are in this lifetime. So you go back to understand how it got you to where you are today. So I don't see it that way. I see it as a younger self. I don't know why, but I see it as a younger self. So
Okay.
you're the wise one, and then right. So the best way I could describe this to you is, I was in a meditation to visit heaven. And heaven has many different levels to it, depending upon what your original origin is, where you come from, whether you're a star being, whether you're an earthling, whether you're an angel. So it depends on it. So I'm in the meditation, and my dad has passed, and I wanted to really see him, because who else would you want to see but someone that just passed, right? So I go into the meditation, and I'm in it. And, there's different connections to get there through air, water, anyways, the whole thing. And I'm up in my little cloud where I am. And I said, I want to see my dad. And then in that moment, they said, which dad? And so in that one split second, it was very cool. It looked like I was on the top of a tornado, and it went all the way down into different past lives. I got to see a dad, a mom, a brother, a sister, because
Wow.
after all, in each lifetime, you're not this sex always, right?
Right.
Very, very cool. So in that echo of hearing, which dad do you want to see? I got to see the whole line.
Wow.
Really, that's really what it's about. So it's not
That's
about, does that dad or does that lifetime judge who I am? It's
right.
I don't know why it just shows up like not like a snake, but it's just a
Right.
past life that's all you simultaneously at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And I certainly understand, and I've been told, that certain relationships that you have also could be totally different. Somebody who might be
Exactly.
a romantic partner could have been your sister or your brother or your father or your mother, in another capacity, and you've had a relationship that was still that vibrational connection, but in a different capacity, a whole different.
And
Whole
also,
different.
people don't realize you don't always come back as human either. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
No. Of
You know what I
course.
mean? It's, energy is energy. And also, because I used to ask this question to spirit all the time, is like, So if, let's say, Mike and I, like you and I, obviously have some type of connection, right? Because we're talking now and we have
Yeah.
some sort of contract together. Is all right, okay, let's say, we have a romantic bond and one partner leaves before the other. Do they wait? Because I used to ask them this, do they wait? Because remember, I had a lot of conversation about death my whole life because that was very fast. Do they wait for you? Like what is going on? And because you are living in more than one simultaneous reality, it's kind of selfish to think that that person is not going to go move on because they got,
Right.
as I say, they got shit to do.
Right. Or not have an infinite number of iterations going on at the same
Yes,
time.
exactly. They're not like waiting for you. Because when people would say to me, "Oh, is so and so coming in for me?" and I'm like, "Well, hello, they might be a little busy. Like, I just want to say, they got things to do. They're not
Right.
gonna be like waiting
Right.
around and
Right.
saying,
Right.
hey,
Right.
it's pretty. I don't know. I find it pretty funny.
I think that's great. No, I mean, energy is energy, and who can really define it or control it? If you connect to it at that moment, you connect to it at that moment, right? I mean, I do want to bring up your website here for a second, because there is you have a nice slideshow going of some of your work. So
Oh,
that's
thank you for that. Oh, thank God,
important.
I don't have to take anything out.
Also want to pop up the banner, I mean the URL there at the bottom, lisafazioartist.com. So if you're interested in learning more about anything Lisa's talking about here, you can find more about her there, and different events that she's going to be at, and classes that she
Well, we have
gives.
so many events coming up. We're doing hypnosis and art. I'm doing tuning forks, and we're going to do a Mother Mary workshop. We're going to have a whole Mother Gaia celebration. Like I said, because people.
It's so great that like there's actually a growing spiritual community,
It's interesting.
that you can do these events, and know that your tribe will show up, or people who are at least, maybe people you haven't met, but still that they're, them, they're familiar when they show up.
Isn't that the truth? I have to tell you that I love that part.
Yeah.
Well, you had said it earlier about the friendly and not friendly. I make my world friendly.
Mhm.
You know what? I just came back from Florida and someone said to me, I said hello to everybody. They went, "Oh, you're in Florida, so you're friendly." I'm like, hell no, I'm friendly everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that people, again, people, all of those layers and that stuff that I was talking about, I don't think people really understand their own accountability, and the idea that everything is a choice, right? I think that
Exactly.
a lot of people, the situation I was having, with a friend of mine, he said that his cynicism wasn't a choice of how he is; it was a response to the world. And I'm like, but no, I tried to explain to him that he was choosing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Your reaction is your job.
right, exactly. He got so upset at me. We had such a fight, and then he's like, "Oh, you always profess that, positive energy will get positive things. Well, you're putting out positive energy to me. How do you explain this? Screw off. I'm angry at you. I don't, and I'm like, I explain it that this is your response, and it's a reflection of you, not me. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right, right. But I just want to touch about the positivity. I mean, I'm not positive all the time. I'm
right,
gonna be if I'm driving past you and I'm in a pissed off mood, I might cut you off. I'm gonna
right.
be honest. I think that's the thing that people like is that I'm really real. If I'm having a crappy day, my friends are watching now. They know I've been through a hard time. I boo-hoo.
Sure,
Everybody
sure.
boo-hoos. I think you have to really just move through all the energy of we're here to experience all of our emotions, right? Because love is
Absolutely.
mostly what's on the other side, right?
Yep.
So, hello, if I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be angry. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to let it pass. I think it's really a matter of how much you wallow in something that doesn't serve you. And then you wonder why you have XYZ going on.
There
So,
you go.
yeah,
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You hit it on the head. It's your response is how you wallow, like, or if you choose to wallow in it, you know what I mean? It's like you're giving it energy, whatever it is. If it's good, if it's bad, you're the one who's deciding, to talk about it, right?
carry the baggage. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, and you know what? If you want to talk about it for 5 minutes, then you have 5 minutes. I've had friends where I'm like, I'm going to bitch for an hour. I'm going to bitch for an hour if that's what I really need. But I think that everybody has to give themselves the permission to feel their feelings through completion,
absolutely.
and do it in a way of whatever. Like again, you could do it through art, you could do it through
Right,
music, you could do it through movement.
right.
And you know what? You could do it shitty also. You could eat a whole bag of Doritos. I don't care. You could do it.
Totally. And people who profess positivity aren't always happy, even though
That's
they're
right.
talking. It's just that that's what they choose to talk about and choose to, kind of try to spread. And we all have our moments. Listen, I'm not always like getting out of bed like, oh yay, it's a new day, let's go. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd like to maybe in my head, but
And
uh
we're humans and we're having a human experience,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man. So did you want to show us around you did show us around your studio already.
Well, yeah, I guess I could, we have
Anything
crystal
else?
wire
I
wrapping.
know you got all excited. You're like, what can I share? What do I need to do?
Well,
And
I'm doing some art. This is our art for our hypnosis class with Kelly.
oh yeah, tell
We're
us
gonna,
what that's all
we're gonna
about.
be doing well, that's gonna be about your inner child. So remember back in the day when you did like finger painting and
Sure.
nobody told you how to do it the right way or anything. So we're gonna be doing hypnosis. We're gonna like chill out, relax, and then we're gonna come out and start doing some painting. And everybody who registers needs to give me a profile photo of them so I can draw it out. And then they're gonna have a little fun with sketching there.
Wow, that's
What
awesome.
else? Then I have this is my crystal wire wrapping. We do crystal wire wrapping here. We're going to be
Nice.
doing. I always try to come up with something with Brave Wings. She flies. I try to come up with different things to do that has to do with art and meditation.
Nice.
Yeah, so those are, and then like I said, I don't have samples of the other classes that I'm doing, but this is sort of a little bit of studio
I
life.
love your
What
studio.
else?
It's great.
What else do people want to know about artists? I don't know. We clean the house on occasionally. We don't just paint. I have 3 cats. I still have to do litter.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Well, that's what life is. But yeah, and then this is the other cool thing that people don't know about. So this is not to look at my part, but this is a mirror above. So when you sit in a demonstration mirror, this is for watercolorists, not oil painters. Can you see? So if you sit down at the table, you get to see what the teacher is doing. So it kind of looks like it's a cooking show, but it's not. See how cool that is?
That's great.
So
Yeah.
it's not very fun shui, but I have one there and I have one in my
No, that's
my
awesome.
classroom. I have one in my office studio, which is super messy.
And I love how passionate you are about not only what you do, but about creating these classes and sharing it with people and helping them open up into their own abilities. You know what I mean? It's very much like, psychics who are trying to help other people's psychic mediumship classes. You know what I mean? Trying to like let everyone know what's inside themselves. It's so important. I know you certainly subscribe to the same philosophy about self-love and how important that is. And really that's, I think that's where freedom starts, the ability to be free.
Self-care. Yeah. Because I think people don't give themselves permission to sit down. I think what happens is we come up with formulas. You know what I mean? Oh, 5 minutes of meditation. And then I'm like, I look at them and go, I don't know. Does it have to be 5 minutes? Like, and what is meditation anyway? Is it quiet and go, and put yourself in that pretzel position that I can never get out of? Like, where did you, like, even for like the painting, like where did you get this norm from? Where did that come from? Totally. In fact, Michael, if you took a class at me, here's Picasso. He wants to say hello. Hi, Picasso. There's no drawing. That drives most of my students crazy. I'm like, no, we're going to do, because an oil painting, okay, the difference is, let's say this painting, right? You do a sketch ahead of time. And you're going to say you're going to be wings. But when you do a watercolor class, at least with me, and I teach the creative process, we're going to do the colors, and then we're going to say, what is it interpreted to be? So are we seeing something, and then you carve it out? So that's how life is. So are you either carving it out to be the way you want it to be, or are you sketching it out first, and you need to do all the planning? I mean, if you go on vacation, I get it. Are you going to plan and say, well, it's on Monday, we're going to do this, this, and this. But are you leaving enough space in between? Think about it. Even your everyday life, are you giving yourself enough space in between to really be truly present and to make it up as you go along? That means, like, you and I go to the city together and we say we're going to go see the tree. But all of a sudden we turn and we look down the block and then we see a bunch of people singing. So are we going to walk down there and check out the singing, or are we going to just go see the tree? Because that's what we said we're going to do. So I think in life you need to be a little bit more open for possibilities of change, of things that might be exciting. Maybe spirit's knocking on your door and sending you a little message. I don't know. But that's how you make yourself happy when you're not so rigid. At least you have a little bit of flexibility. Get what I'm saying? I think it's good.
Totally. Yeah, totally. I totally get what you're saying. And again, it's it seems so simple, I think, to you and me, you know what I mean? But we both also can see a lot of people struggle with it. And I guess, that's why we like to kind of share our gifts and our love and our light,
And be out of the box. Mike,
yeah,
your
yeah.
photography, when you
Mhm,
photograph those people
mhm,
with
mhm,
all the different images on their body,
mhm.
was phenomenal. I was like, I love it. It's so out of the
Well, thank
box.
you.
But that
Thank
but
you.
that didn't come from Google. That came from Mike's Google here. You know what I mean? They're telling
Yes, I mean, yes, it did. But I saw a photographer doing some stuff with projectors, and that inspired me to start doing it.
exactly.
But I
Isn't that
certainly,
how it works?
yeah,
You get
absolutely,
inspired?
no, absolutely, 1,000,000%. So there's another photo I was trying to find uh, the original one, but I only found this. This is a photo that of me standing in front of one of your paintings. This was
I
at
took that of
the
you. That was adorable.
that was at the New Life Expo, I
Oh,
believe.
I love it.
Um, but I also do want to share something. Now, this I don't think, and I hate to say it, but I don't think that you're actually in this. But you were there, and so I want to just share this because
Sure,
I
sure.
feel like it's something we can kind of reminisce on together. Let me just see here, Chrome tab, and/or share audio. Okay, I want to just make sure that people can hear it. Um, so this was, I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is like the second half of this video that was taken, the behind the scenes of that photo shoot that we were talking about. So it was at this girl Jen's apartment or house. That was the photo Facebook group that we had.
Who made this, Mike? You did? I never saw this.
What's that?
I never saw this.
Oh no. Yeah, this was Trevor was my friend who was filming behind the scenes.
Hmm.
It was really such a magical experience.
Well, what was great is that someone envisioned to put this together. You know what I mean? Like this was the point, you know. And you also gave the women the freedom to pose they where they felt comfortable. I remember the shoot. Yeah, you asked them.
Yeah.
I mean, now that people need to know this wasn't pre-rehearsed. You
Yeah. Oh,
all
yeah.
intuitively done
Absolutely.
it.
This was all on the spur of the moment.
Right.
The idea of the Ender Warrior was all we had. Like we knew we were gonna. I had done the Women of Armageddon calendar, so that's I think why I was asked to do this because we knew we were going to do this kind of warrior theme. And yeah, it was just such a beautiful, beautiful experience.
It was. It
Um,
really was. But that's a true example of the creative process where again you had an idea, a very loose idea, and then you intuitively because you had everybody had their own idea. Think
right,
about it, even people when you photograph them, Mike. I'm sure you've had it like they, shoot my best side. You know what I
right,
mean? And
right, right, right,
everybody was really free to allow
right,
whatever everybody wanted to do intuitively.
right.
So yeah,
And I
definitely.
think I think the thing that I love about photography and kind of makes my work what it is I don't look at it like I'm the photographer and I'm doing the work. I look at it as a collaboration, and that was a collaboration of many many people's energies. You know what I mean? And that's what I think worked with you as well when you were doing the painting. It was just like, I think as empaths or intuitive people, you kind of connect to that energy in a certain way, you know what I mean? And it's pretty significant,
Well, also, I want to say some of the women that day were not feeling well either. And I remember you had to not have, they were all different stages of struggling. If anybody doesn't know what endometriosis is, it's basically tumors that are formed from the female reproduction parts. And so these women had to decide whether to not have children, you know what I mean? Whether, because that's what really the doctors were giving as an alternative, was to remove all the reproduction organs. And because that was the choice I did, I had children already. And now my own daughters are 31 and 27, and they know now it's hereditary.
Right.
Because in the beginning, my daughters are like, "Oh, I don't have to worry about it." I'm like, "No, you do." And so
Right.
now there's so much more information about it. So
Right. Right.
yeah, no, and the women suffered silently. I went to many
Yep.
doctors, suffered silently like you're crazy. So yeah, those women were warriors in that shoot as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so grateful for that. So grateful for meeting you that day and
Yeah,
seeing
thank
you
you.
over the years, and in the, it's weird. I say spiritual community, and it's like I kind of cringe a little because I don't like the terminology and labels, but it really is a tribe of people who believe in loving and respecting each other. You know what I mean? Like on the real basic level of it all, and
Right.
we all have different levels of understanding energy and our accountability for it. But that's really it. So do you have any words of wisdom or words of advice for my audience before we wrap up?
I would say take the time for yourself to really give yourself a break. I think that people are really hard on themselves. Really just go back to your sort of like your inner child when you just had that day where it was the perfect day where you just went to the park and you just really enjoyed the sunshine, taking your shoes off and putting your feet in the grass. Like go back to that kind of a feeling. Do things that make you happy. If you're not happy, then you need to make yourself happy. Look in the mirror and look around, and that could just start with going to the food store and picking out something new to eat that you have never had. Getting excited about taste buds all over again. Going to the gym, trying a new piece of equipment, maybe just getting new sneakers. I think people just need to
I love
give
those
themselves
suggestions.
permission to redo
I love
every
it.
minute,
You
every
got,
day.
yeah, and I think that was something I was thinking earlier. Janet Tafola is out there. What's up, Janet? I haven't seen you in a while, but she says you're awesome, both
Hi,
of you.
Janet.
Thank you so much. MB Necroto is out there saying watercolor with
Hey,
Lisa was
I love Mary
amazing.
Beth.
Mary Beth, MB.
Mary Beth.
And now I just lost my thought. What was I saying? Oh my
We were
goodness.
talking about like just giving yourself permission to really be in the moment of just being happy in that moment, whatever that little moment could be, an hour of the day, the moment,
Sure.
1 minute of the day, and just really reactivating yourself. Like I wouldn't know what you need to change your food routine or your walking day. You'd be surprised, a simple thing like driving down a different path or just giving yourself an extra 5 minutes of whatever it is that you need. How about
Right.
like it's not even the 5 minutes of sleep, Mike. Maybe it might be 5 minutes extra in the shower just to relax a little bit. People don't realize they can give themselves permission
Right.
to just be kinder to themselves 5 minutes at a time.
Right.
And then
Oh,
be more
what
patient.
what I was going to say is this. I was just thinking about this. You said the thing about it could be as simple as going to the supermarket and getting something you never tried to eat, new food, and that is that I feel like part of the layers that have been put on us about how we're supposed to function and what it's supposed to be like is this idea of a comfort zone, right? So I feel like we
Exactly.
are always like, okay, I need to find a comfort zone. Once I find that comfort zone, I'm good. Right. And you find the comfort zone and it feels like you're good, right? Because that's why they call it a comfort zone, because you're comfortable, but you're not growing. You're just at this, you're just stagnating. I feel like that's what comfort zones are. And
Right.
not listen, I'm not saying there's not
Right, which is
it's not
fine.
good to be comfortable. It's good to be comfortable, you know what I mean? But
Right, comfortable pair of shoes, jeans, but you know what? As soon as Spirit laughs at that, Spirit says, "Ah," and then they throw you a little wrench, and then they go, "Hey, you really thought that you learned about that relationship? We're gonna find another person that presents that." Because people always think, "Oh, you're just gonna do this, cut them out." Oh, no, 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 there'll be another one that looks just like that in a different head.
that's right. Totally.
It's fine. And again, if you approach it with the same thing, if you were in your happy, remember the happy tree guy that used to paint the happy trees, and the happy trees. I don't remember him.
Yeah,
Channel
Bob
13,
Ross,
Bob Ross.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bob
I
Ross.
don't know if we're gonna do that. I mean, he used to smoke a lot of weed, but anyway,
Well, he had a lot of great philosophies. He was
He
a
did.
painter.
He did.
Not, nothing's an accident, happy accident. Oh, look, we did a
Yes.
mistake. Oh, let's make it work. Let's look,
Yes.
such a really
Yes.
a lot of so many people look up to Bob Ross, and he really is like a philosophical teacher in a lot of ways,
No,
which
he
is
really was.
fun
If
to
you
hear.
look at the history, there's a
Mhm.
documentary on him.
Yeah,
He really was. So
yeah,
yeah, no,
great,
but
great
that's
stuff.
like you drive down the wrong block. Oh, look at that! I found the new place. Blah blah. Yeah, you just have to have
There
that
you go. Make the best of it. Silver lining, always.
silver lining.
Janet
That's my
says,
thing. Silver lining.
give yourself permission
Mission.
to sleep, because tomorrow's another day to finish what didn't get done today.
That's right. It's always patiently waiting for you, isn't it?
Right, and I've got the fire department outside, it sounds like. But I guess that's the siren for 10 o'clock, and
Yes, perfect.
you've been amazing. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, much love. Yes, I did. Mike,
Yeah,
always so good to see
yeah.
you. Thank you for asking me.
I
Thank you.
told you it was going to be fun and easy. I didn't use too many big words, I hope.
You
Um,
did really good.
so I'm going to just put you backstage. I'm going to say goodbye, and
Thank you, everybody.
I'll
Thank you
be
for
back.
calling in. Mwah, much love to you guys. Come visit.
We'll
Love to
see
see
you
you.
later, Elise. Awesome. Another great hour of intentional conversation, creating an intentional moment with someone I love and someone I want to learn about and give space to. Lisa Fazio, artist. Go check her out if you resonated with anything that we had tonight. Janet's out there saying, love you, love this show. I love you, Janet, so much for being here since the beginning. Deborah's out there too. Love to you, Lisa. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Lily, another amazing show. Thank you so much. I love to hear that people who have been here from the beginning, they still think that this is amazing, because I certainly do. I love being here with you guys. I love that you come here and spend your time with me. And it's just an honor. Awesome. I will see you guys next week. Excuse me. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I think next week is Gemma Starr, who is this amazing woman from Australia who I saw on Jesse Howell's show, and I just resonated like, as you watch someone talk and you're just like, oh my God, I got to talk to that person. So she's next week. I will see you guys then. Peace.